Hello, and we're back after a short bout of technical difficulties as we're loading into the end of round 5 here, and a whole lot of things has happened, and now it's a 1v2 here as we're split 2-2. As Zoetic Energy takes out one of the left, and the bomb is, down in basement. NMSU coming in, seeing the head of that peak there, just taking the head clean off of the Maestro, and Zoetic Energy winning that attack round. And that would be a 3-2 split in favor of the attack. So, in this case, this is a little bit odd, as at least the meta right now definitely seems defender favored. So with the attack winning, do you think that NMSU is now favored to take down this match?
I'm not 100% sure. I still feel like it could go either way. It could be that one team maybe spend a bit more time practicing attack than defense, or vice versa, and we might see something completely backwards like we have been seeing in some pro league matches lately.
Yeah, especially in this case here, as we see a bandit coming in, especially with a basement attack. This is going to be a little bit interesting, probably expecting the good old upstairs, which is something highly unlikely, which is way more likely than the first sight. Now that Blitz is going to be a little bit more awkward, especially with the way that setup is done. And notably, again, there is also no Habana here either, which definitely is an interesting take, as we've noticed. So so it looks like we're having a very standard basement setup. However, NMSU now has 2 roamers, which is something that ASU did not do. They usually did a 1-4 split towards the defenders. And now, at least in this case, we now have a 2-3 split, which is a little bit more traditional, maybe even a 3-2, depending on how the attacker defenders want to skew.
Bit scary though. I think that it didn't look like they put any reinforcements on the blue wall, which I think is somewhat normal, but there didn't seem to be anyone. Okay, well, they do have the doc playing in blue, or it looks like they should have someone playing in blue. It is the doc, which they don't have any rotates for him though, which might be a bit terrifying. And I think if you give up that blue control, it gets very easy to lose the site, no matter how hard you anchor it.
Yeah, and where's the Legion? The Legion still does have 2 impacts, so it looks like he's going to at least make the attempt to impact trick, though that means that those are the only impacts, at least on this half of the map, as BLT gets hit a little bit in from, I believe, the blue stairs, because that's where he was hitting, that's where he was standing. Actually, from the Twitch, it looks like. The Twitch got him a couple times, as the Thatcher drone coming in to scope out the rest of the site, and I heard a C4 go off, I think that's what I just heard. C4 or an impact trick? Not entirely sure. Yeah, C4 is still there, so that's definitely an impact trick. Or some form of explosive. As someone is tracking the person downstairs, narrowly missing multiple times based on the position as the things go off, which happens to be Lucky Not Good, who's doing the impact tricks on there.
See
it looks
how
like he might also be able to get this one too, as it starts going off because of the awkward position, just trying to nav.
Trying to bang him through the ceiling. Oh, did he get it?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So both those impact tricks did go off, and now they have no hard breach left, which is a problem. Noted multiple times as the Twitch tries to get the Jaeger and does not succeed on multiple attempts. So now this attack is going to change very quickly, very drastically, as Fear Up goes in and takes out the Jackal through one of the holes that they made themselves. So now the Bandit's going to be, or the Blitz, I should say, the other German operator on the attack. So is going to at least try and do some form of pushes. They did manage to get the stock hatch open, it seems. But this attack now definitely has slowed down with the removal of any and all hard breach. That could have been solved, like especially with the impact trick. Ooh, there's a clean.
Seconds left.
Yeah, 33 seconds left. And
they can
first frag onto NMSU.
If it seems like they can. Ooh, another frag. It seems like they might actually be able to pull this off.
Yeah, Zerfon onto Fear Up, so that's both the Valkyrie and the Dot gone. And then Taz comes in from Garage and takes out Zerfon there. So that was currently a 3v3 with 15 seconds left. That definitely seems defender favorite, as everyone seems to be on the blue side, except for the Bandit, or the Blitz, I should say, excuse me. He's going to start running at the church and trying to find anyone and everyone, trying to clear them out here. As he
on German. There we go.
One out, and then we end up with a 2v2 as someone is attempting to plant, and to clean that out, tags melees Alex as in the planting animation, and because the planter died as the round ended, we get that glorified cam of absolutely nothing.
We don't actually get to see anything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So now we are in a 4-2 split, favoring NMSU. Now they're going up to cash, which is the more traditional pull.
We'll see if they take any counter hard breaching ops. The Mira is available, which is not always the case, as we know lately, but no anti-hard breach ops.
It looks like that CCTV wall is going to be 100% open, and those Maestro cams are not going to stick, most likely. With both the Zofia and the walk around, I doubt that those Maestro cams will last for long. The other notable thing is that since they have a Jaeger, they will have to burn flashes, most likely flashes of the thermite on those ADSs to be able to have a shot at getting rid of both Maestros. Because notably, the only other grenades are smokes, which are something that they definitely don't want to be eaten by the ADS. So they can only eat one ADS, it appears, for the, well, two, ostensibly, with both the Zofia concussive grenades and the flash grenades from thermite.
Once again, it looks like I Vigil playing in bedroom, or as at least he's at least hanging out in bedroom right now. We'll see if he keeps this roam up. Looks like Castle was reinforcing below as well. Maybe he's playing down there.
Yeah, it looks like he put a barrier up in the downstairs connector in between stock and that main hallway there, as Tags is now playing in the offices upstairs. And it looks like we have a two-man room this time. Tags in offices and Castle on the first floor in stock. And very quickly, with 30 seconds into the round, the CC wall is now open, which is something that they presumably assumed. And Tags watching that hatch carefully as it was breached by, I believe, the Buck. Or is actually, the Zofia wasted an impact on that, which is interesting, I believe.
Yes, especially with that much hatch or soft utility.
Yeah, they also wasted
that decision.
Oh, I guess it wasn't that. So it looks like you still have two of the things out. And then Zerfon comes in and takes out BLT because he impacted the rear window out, which I believe you could do because the whole thing was on a soft wall.
My goodness.
So, and currently there's no one playing
Looks like he might get this blind here.
No.
Oh, so he burned his...
Evil Eye still up, right? And then
no, he
Fear takes it. The ADS. Fear takes out one other, and then we have a refrag back on there to Fear from Tag, I believe. So it's currently a 3v4 in favor of ASU, and then Jackal then scans somebody. It's like the one who's in the other hallway there, and then they know that in cash that's where the tag was. And then Zerfon comes in and takes out Lucky Not Good, who is the one being scanned, I believe. So now it looks like the Buck is pushing in from construction there, as
or might get some plant down.
And Jaeger somehow in sight, and Zerfon and Tag takes one, and Jaeger heavily injures another, and Tags is somehow still alive somewhere as that frag nearly takes out his own man. And Tags is now in garage, I guess, and he's going to try to come and take out and win the 3v1. Those stairs are definitely the most dangerous with these sliver of health he's on. And Young Sweat takes out Tag, and we are at a 4v3 in favor of NMSU right now.
Very back and forth, like you were predicting earlier. It's very exciting. Seems like no one can really get a foothold in CCTV. It seems like that.
Interestingly enough, it seems that both teams are having people who are not having fantastic games. Because it looks like we have, at least currently from what I saw on that quick flash we got there, that we have two people with one kill throughout the course of this game. One on each side, which makes it a little bit more interesting here. So we are going back to cash to see if they are going to be able to take that one, this time with the Bandit. So they're going to take a slightly different tag here. So they have a Mira, Maestro, Bandit, Jaeger, and Doc on the defense, and then a Zofia, Thatcher, Buck, Jackal, and Thermite on the attack. So let's see how quickly they get the balcony window open and prevent the Bandit from being able to do his Bandit trick. Now, I do find it interesting that he placed both batteries early. I personally have a habit of only placing one and then staying near that wall in that little hallway connector there that goes downstairs into blue and garage. So it looks like we're going to have the Maestro placements the same as before with the quick little trick that to be able to vault up there and place that Maestro cam. So we are going to see how this time ends up. Now this time playing a little bit different because there is a bandit. Whether or not he's going to be live playing that wall is currently unknown because he's currently chilling in construction. Just nowhere near the wall that actually needs to be bandaged.
Exactly, and it seems like that thermite's going to go down and the wall is going to open up like it has been.
It could be that they're playing the bandit just for the gun, which seems gun and C4, which seems a little bit odd. But especially with that soft wall there, you know,
yeah,
which is what he's standing here, and he's smoking in without knowing that the Maestro cam's there because no one's in garage, which is highly irregular.
Oh my goodness. So
ASU just now has garage control.
Well, he spotted the Maestro cam, it seems, but now he also knows he might be spotted.
Really too much.
And they opened it up.
Yeah, to try and shoot him and missed. And Jackal managed to get the quick flick to break the Maestro cam open.
And then he sprang on the stairs onto Doc. It seems like he tagged him a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like he whiffed because that LMG is a little bit hard to control. But now it is a little bit awkward for NMSU as they have lost most of the site, more or less. And it does make it a lot more difficult to be able to retake, especially when you lose garage. And someone managed to tag Jackal as Young Sweat takes out the bandit over on the office's side, second floor. As Irfan is slowly approaching in, then Lucky Not Good comes and takes out Alex, who I believe just in the breach, as Doc is doing his job and healing up everyone, as Doc is now being tracked by Jackal. And then BLT takes out one more, takes out the... Yeah, thank you. BLT then takes out Zerfon here, the Ella. And then Lucky Not Good also then takes out Young Sweat. So it definitely seems like NMSU has managed to turn this one around compared to their last defense. Fearall managed to get a look onto Fatchko, who happens to be the Doc, but managed to shoot right around his face as he's breaking the bar below.
There's a lot more health on New Mexico's side currently, and 45 seconds left for them to hold.
Yeah, with one upstairs and one downstairs in terms of the attack. The split attack definitely not particularly optimal, with Jackal trying to do some vertical play with both of them down. And Thatcher, again, missing a number of his shots, doing a similar amount of damage. But with one stim left, Doc manages to undo most of the damage done. And now they're pushing up the back stairs, both of them at the same time, pushing in as Fearall comes in and takes out Zoetic Energy. There's now a 1v4 with Fearall trying to take a look up the stairs and manages to vault behind him. Fearall and miss Fear and then Fatchko then takes out Fearall after the blunder by the Maestro.
And then we finally see our first successful CC hold. Very not conventionally.
Yes.
but
Bandit not bandit tricking and no approach from the balcony at all. Yes. Very not conventionally. As we go into match point favoring NMSU here, they are able to go back to Church Arsenal, which they managed to win handily due to the nature of their impact tricks. So we'll see if ASU has the wherewithal to bring also a Habana this time instead of just the Thermite, which seems to be traditional these days. It's just the Thermite, as we've seen on both sides. There are no double breach, and as we see here, it looks like we're going to be representing the 0 double breach, and especially with both the Legion and Visual being able to impact trick, is a risky proposition, especially with ASU seemingly not knowing how to properly defend against the impact tricking that NMSU was doing.
They still did not take the second hard breacher, which is something we've been talking about all match, which... especially, I think, knowing what happened last time, I would have at least taken that Habana. She's got the good gun, too. She's got the fragging abilities. She could, burn at least some impacts.
Yep. So we are going to see how this ends up, where they now figured out where they are, and basically doing a traditional hold here. It looks like both the Valkyrie and the Vigil will be roaming. The Capcan doing something here. Not exactly sure where he's going to end up, but we have a spawn peek here from Tag, seeing he's going to be able to get someone from the construction tunnel side. And it looks like he's not going to be able to find anyone. It appears that nobody has spawned that side, as Lucky Not Good is now opening up the impact hole to be able to hit that, to be able to clean up the kitchen without having to be in kitchen and not having any C4s. And it looks like IQ and Young Sweat there, the Buck, are going to be, actually 3 of them, at least at the time, it appeared were going to be going down blue, but it looks like just the Thatcher right now, as the Thermite is now rotating to the backside, Alex TV there, to be able to open up kitchen side hatch, or at least attempt to, as we saw the impact tricking be fairly effective last time. So, in this case, we have Tag still roaming the secondary for Fear Up down in the base, but still has the Valkyries. That means it looks like we only have one roamer, as they expect the impact tricking to do reasonably well. As 2 people are now seem to be chasing down Tag with Zerfon and Zoetic Energy, both on the second floor with Tag. As Thatcher opens up a little bit, as he seems to have gotten tagged by Tags, who was on those stairs at one point. So currently, NMSU is in a slight benefit as Feral headshots Tags, taking one off while also taking a heavy toll on himself, as resets don't mean anything anymore. He's now at a very low health total perpetually. As Jackal is now coming into blue from garage, we're going to see how the rest of
it is on the top of the new blue stairs.
Yeah.
And she seems to be peeking it. Oh, they get another.
Yeah, and Zerfon takes out the cap can of BLT. And it looks like people just holding hard angles for days as they know where at least a few of them are. And it looks like Fear is trying to hold that bar down into blue.
IQ doing what IQ does.
Yeah, but taking out cap can and other things. And it looks like we have a split attack here. 2 coming in from tunnel and 2 coming in from blue. As Lucky Not Good takes out the Thermite and Alex TV, and then Zerfon then takes out Lucky Not Good as he is peeking out wide back from the backside of stock there. As explosives are going off in various ways. And the bomb now goes down as Fear Up then takes out another. And Zerfon takes out Fatchko. Fear Up takes out one more, and let's see if this can be a 1v2 clutch, as one of them is very, very low, as we've seen, because he's on a sliver of health. Even though Valkyrie's done does a do a lot, it still matters a significant amount here that it has very little recoil. So we're going to see if Fear Up is going to be able to take this and win the match with this. Especially with all the life pings everywhere, we're going to see if, with only 31 bullets, with only 57 bullets left in the MPX, let's see if he can take it.
Channel his inner Nesk. You can do it. The long arm. Oh.
No, and Zerfon makes the wide peak and takes out Fear Up with the IQ. And that was definitely a very close defense there that I don't think ASU was particularly expecting, especially after the outcome of the first half of that round. So now, they'll be going somewhere. Let's see, and it looks like, yeah, and we have 12 kills from Fear Up and 12 kills from Zerfon, so it looks like they're both equally fragging each other, and notably, there still is a single frag on someone on ASU, so I don't know if that's to the benefit or detriment or that person's playing support, but definitely does not seem to be putting in as much weight as at least the other team, because the lowest on the other team is only 2 more kills, so I'd personally call that a wash. So let's see.
Support players deserve love too, man.
Yeah, exactly. I won. I am well aware. I was just not predicting because I saw 3 assists, which means that that person played Legion. That's what that tells me.
True.
Yep. So this time coming around on the defense in basement, we have a Mira, Valkyrie, Rook, Legion, and Doc. And on the attack, we have an IQ, Thatcher, Buck, Jackal, and Thermal. So this is a little bit more traditional here. They're going to see if they're going to have to impact trick, and we'll see if they're going to try to do a same attack this time or different. They saw that the last one worked, and hopefully that they assume that NMSU is going to adapt to what ASU last did. So we'll have to see how well this pans out. Notably, there is only one impact trickable hatch on this. I believe there's only one impact trickable hatch on this site, which is only the kitchen one, as both stock and the one in the first floor bar and jukebox room has concrete on the floor, as suddenly for whatever reason there are 3 people in blue, and ASU is very aware of that, taking out 3 drones suddenly at once. And now there's a fair amount of information now spontaneously lost by people rotating back to site. Now it looks like we're going to have a 4-1 split again, with most people playing on site and with some of ASU already in that tunnel.
They're pushing. 2 are pushing dirt, it appears.
Yeah, but they're definitely
opened up dirt. So one of those exothermic charges burned.
Yep, and it looks like Thatcher and Jackal are going to be pushing in on the garage side. And now Thermite and Alex is going to be rotating someone else, and Fearal and Zoetic are going to be pushing in from garage, as we see that there. And also Zerfon, the IQ, watching from the new blue from the recent rework map there, trying to figure out how this all goes down with especially two people, both Alex and Zerfon there. And then Buck on the other side Buck in Young Sweat trying to pinch out whoever's there. And this is a 4-person push coming through the normal bar and jukebox as they're opening up the hatch into church.
And we have Valk watching that. Oh, and Valk catches Alex out.
Yeah, and Fira gets a very good headshot from that hatch, taking out the Thermite. However, the Thermite had done... Alex had done his job.
Exothermics.
Yep.
Hopefully
no
see.
and then... And only a little bit of damage done to the IQ there from the Valkyrie of Fira. So, peeking that hatch did not turn out into fruition, except for managing to get a frag on the operator who already had used his utility. So, we're going to see how, now that we have someone peeking from blue, gets a sight onto someone in the backside by boxes all the way in the back. Let's see if someone peeks that, and lucky not good, then takes out Zerfon from the quick peek from behind boxes. So we're now, with 30 seconds left, we're in a 3v4 with favoring NMSU for this match point, as we have one on the stairs, one in church already, and then one on the blue stairs, as the LMG comes in really quick, and Fashko comes and takes one out, takes out Zoetic, and then Feral comes in, takes out two, lucky not good, and BLT both with headshots. Now it's a 2v2, and now it's a 1v2 with Fashko being the only one left, and Fashko managed to take out Feral, and now it's a 1v1 with the...
Still has stems as well.
Yeah, and then Frag Grenade is going into the wrong slot as he sees them, and
through the
with a very good shot, Fachko gets the final kill to be able to clinch this map 6-4 in favor of NMSU.
And now we will go to ASU's map.
Yep. So let's see if this will be a tie like week one. This is going to be a little bit interesting. And this is different than the last time. Significantly different. As we see in our spread here, Alex DB playing the prime support character with only one kill. I would like one to refill my water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome back from our short interlude here. I am still here. I am Coinman8D63, and with me today is, as we said before,
Korsakov. It is me.
it is Korsakov with me today. And we are now heading towards the second map of Villa, which is one that we still kind of is a little bit on the downturn, shall we say. Not even on the downturn, just still on the rarely played kind of map. Frequently.
Strangely the newest competitive map we play, but also I feel like a lot of teams still shy away from it. And strategies are constantly kind of maybe changing. I don't necessarily know if it's that there aren't anything cookie cutter yet, or
I feel like
it's kind of cookie cutter.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those,
that weird sphere.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where the map has been around enough where people have vague ideas of what regular strats do, but we have this general problem where people avoid playing it because it's new relative to the age of the other maps in the pool, right? Like if you look at this, like Coastline has been around since Mira, which is a year one thing, right? Because Coastline, I believe, was the Brazilian. Well, I believe was the Italian map.
Spanish Coastline, Ibiza.
Yeah, but I believe Coastline was like the map for Mira, and that's like the most recent addition, I believe, into the pool outside of Villa.
Yeah, it's the only one that was not a base game, right? I might be wrong about that.
Outside of Villa, I believe that's the case, right?
Yeah. We get one a year. I guess that means hopefully we don't get Outback as a competitive map this year.
It may happen like at the end of this year, but Outback is actually fine playing it.
Yeah, it's a minus the bugs and maybe some of the spawn peaks, but I hope we get there. Anyways, we got an IQ and a Nomad ban. Is that IQ ban a target ban?
It definitely feels like a target ban because IQ is being leveraged heavily against NMSU's defense, as you saw a lot of their things did not become useful due to the nature of IQ. And we also have a mirror ban too, which is pretty traditional, at least universally these days. So that definitely feels more correct. So we'll see what this immediate ban was, because this went down immediately. And Maestro also now has been banned. So, I apologize. We have Echo still up as the primary anti-planter device. So as we head into round one of NMSU versus ASU on the second map with NMSU up 1-0 so far as they're heading into Aviator Games. Nope, Trophy Statuary. I apologize as they quickly changed that. And as we were talking about it, since we were talking about this earlier, that is correct because the other banks of the pool are Border, Bank, Clubhouse, which are all original, Consulate, which are all original maps in Oregon. So 5 of those maps are original. The only 2 added since were Clubhouse and Villa. So as we head into the first defense round on this very seldomly used map here, we have Doc, Castle, Echo, Legion, and Jaeger on the defense. And on the attack, we have Zofia, Thermite, Ash, Jackal, and Twitch. So, based on how this bomb site is traditionally played, do you think that ASU will be at a slight disadvantage not having... Actually, there is no way to stop a breach, so it looks like they're going to be playing aggressively into bathroom to try and protect... aggressively into bathroom to try and protect the master bedroom a little bit more, especially with the one soft wall currently.
I think the meta of this map, at least for attackers, is to aggressively just hit master and bathroom, try to open up that wall in the statuary, get the plant down, maybe smoke it off. But as we've seen, last map, I don't think we should expect the ordinary from these two teams. I think they can just really pull off some frags and pick out some utility before, we can even fathom it. I think we can really see anything happen right now.
I think there's also an interesting point being made where I think there's still a wall soft in master bedroom, and they have no particular... No, they did manage to get it. It was definitely soft for a very long time. But in this case, it looks like they're just going to be trying to hold that side as 3 people are outside master bedroom right now. And it appears that the Ash will be taking care of many of the castle barricades.
I think she'll probably just try to get in, open those up, get her team in.
Yep. Interesting.
And also, we should know that the Zephyron on the R4C was the top fragger for NMSU last game, so we can expect more from where that came from, especially playing the Ash.
Yep. The other important thing that I would like to note here is that even though there only are 2 smoke grenades, now with the Maestro gone, which was a defensive ban, might I add, the smokes are now smoked. And the Castle now knows where the Zofia is with the impact of that wall, as Zofia tries to wallbang. Fear Up tries to wallbang Young Sweat, or the other way around, say Young Sweat tries to wallbang Fear Up, and Fear Up manages to blindly refrag through that wall.
Into vault.
And now that wall, that master wall is now breached, it appears. Or impact tricks, actually, it appears. Or what was even put down? I couldn't actually tell. Yeah, so it was impact tricked in that case. So it looks like NMSU leveraging that impact trick again to their advantage as Zerfon sees BLT in Astronomy here. And Zerfon manages to take out BLT, making this a 4v4, slightly favoring the defenders in terms of health. But it looks like with that Zofia gone, though, there's a fair amount of utility still left. With the Zofia gone, there's a little bit less utility left as the Echo manages to get the pixel angle and take out Twitch on the window.
And there goes Zephyron.
Takes out
and the
Fear Up, and then Tags takes out Zerfon, and then Fearall takes out one more, and then Tags manages to take out Zoetic Energy. And now we're suddenly in a 1v1 situation with Fearall taking out Fachco, and Fearall not anywhere near the diffuser or knowing where the Echo exactly is with 8 seconds left. I do believe this will mean a defensive win because there's not enough time to grab the diffuser and plant. So, good defensive round this time around. Definitely a very, very interesting round, especially in the last 30 seconds when lots of people died at once.
I think especially compared to, I guess, you know, you can compare it to the last time these two teams met in week 1, where NMSU won the first map on Oregon and then got swept on Border 6-0. This is a step in the right direction. They have won that first map and have won the first round of the second map. This could be their first win of the season, which would really make the Rogue Spear division a bit more interesting. I can see a really fun run to the end of the season here.
Yeah, definitely a win here would definitely give them a very large confidence boost running into the end of season here, as they are now defending the game room and vault side upstairs. So we'll see what kind of interesting strats they pull out, whether or not they're going to use. They have no shotgun, so that's interesting, because normally a traditional strat would be like with the smoke, something up here is to shotgun the floor near the bar in the game room and be able to have entire view of the front foyer downstairs. So it looks like they're setting up those echo cams already as we're trying to get a reinforcement there, and currently a rotation going to be quickly made, hopefully, in between the two halves of this site. It looks like the roamers are going to be having an Ella and a... I'm not entirely sure what the second one is, but it's definitely at least a 2-roamer, 3 anchor setup here. As we're looking to see as you mentioned before, it seems like at least on this map, doing a master push is very, very traditional and clearing out the entire master side. So it looks like that's what we're going to be doing today here, as 3 people, Zoetic, Alex, and one more who I can't exactly see, will be pushing in through master bedroom. Young Sweat on the first floor, it looks like, as Fachco coming in and breaking open all the gun cases, maybe using those and taking the bullets for himself. We'll see if that will be something that happens later. But Young Sweat coming up back to the backstairs of Astronomy, 2 coming up the backstairs of Astronomy, both Zerfon and Young Sweat. So it looks like they're going to be doing a quick take of Trophy and Statuary. A really quick take. Though they aren't particularly watching Astronomy if that happens to open up. So we're not entirely sure. And then it looks like we have long angle of Fear Up and Zoetic over in the 90 over there. So we'll see how this pans out if we're going to try and see if the ACOG can beat the Hollow Sight or vice versa. As Fear Up is now getting flashed by Zerfon, trying to push out the Ella as Twitch is now on the window where the Ella is and gets clear view, but a quick flick from Fear Up takes out Alex, and Fear Up takes out another one in Zerfon as 2 headshots managed to get 2 of the team, And someone else is also very low on health, either that or downed. I can't particularly tell right now. The Zoetic is now very, very low, also from the same click, as Jackal is trying to peek out onto the Ellis, who's having an utterly fantastic round right now in Fear Up. So we're going to see how that ends up pairing out, as we know where the last three are. All of them are over in the master bedroom, as Tags got down by somebody. We're not entirely sure who. And then Fearol manages to take out two of them, both Fear Up and BLT, both with head.
Tag is still down.
Yeah, Tag is still down with the giant LMD mag, or at least low. He's just very low.
Oh, he's
and
low.
It looks like it's hard to tell these days, especially with it being functionally the same. And and Tags is going to be brought up to 20s. Yeah, so it looks like we're basically going to have even sides right now in terms of health and not necessarily utility, as Vault is being open with a tiny pillar protecting Fearol, seeing if that will actually do anything. As Zoetic manages to see Tags, who's already at low health. So we're in now a 3v2 position where someone dies to a literal breath of air as he gets capped by Fajco behind bar. And it looks like we are now sitting on a 2v2 situation with both people at functionally full health here, with Fearol coming in and getting the diffuser. And that is not a place where you can plant, as he tried to plant, it looks like. So you have to actually go, yeah, you cannot plant in Vault. You go beyond the door. That was
my goodness.
Not good. Taking out Young Sweat, and then Lucky Not Good taking out Fearol with that fantastic melee. Hopefully we get to see both. Yes, we do. Hiding in the smoke. Taking out the Dokebi, and then wheeling around to take out the last one in the door. That was rather impressive, I'd say. I don't think they expected someone to be hiding in the smoke then running around like a madman knifing people.
I think we really got to see some individual brilliance in that round. I think that ASU was, doing a pretty solid push. They got into Master really quickly, and Astronomy for that matter. I think a lot of the pro teams I've seen play on this map really try to have some roaming presence, and it seemed like ASU got past that very quickly, but then just some individual brilliance from Fear Up and from... So it was Fearol. Well, he's on the Legion now. Whoever Legion was last round.
It would have been Lucky Not Good in that case.
Lucky Not Good and Fearol just individual brilliance that round.
Yeah, and I do think it was important to note that the knife was actually critically important to that success, because the way that the kill cams are worked here, because due to the settings we have, you don't get to see where the kill cams are from, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that the knife made no noise did not alert, and still obscured by the smoke, did not alert the last person, who I believe was Fearol, where Lucky Not Good was. So that was actually a very heads-up play to go run for the knife, which is a very regular thing to say here, especially in Siege. So it looks like we have a kitchen defense. Kitchen defense downstairs with a Doc, Legion, Echo, Castle, and Jaeger on the defense, and on the attack we have a Blitz, which is very good on the downstairs side, at least from what I've seen. Thermite. Yeah, Young Sweat, as we saw even in the last one, happens to be playing a lot of Blitz, and they already have that door open into where the washing machines are. And as I was saying, we also have a Dokebi and a Twitch to fill out the rest of the attacker squad. And it looks like they're doing a 4-man hold downstairs. I don't know where the last one's currently chilling. It seems we currently have two people upstairs, and Zoetic and Fearol on the attack, trying to clear out the upstairs before they do the downstairs, maybe attempting to do some vertical play. As Tags is just somewhere on the other side of the map. Whether or not the attack will know to look from there, I doubt it, but who knows, especially with a Blitz running through the basement and clearing that out.
Yeah, this third site defense on Villa has been, I feel like, one of the biggest areas of experimentation. So I don't think either of the sites, kitchen, dining, and the other one being living, can't remember the other site, but neither of them seem too fleshed out with the strats, so I think teams get to play a lot of strategy here, and it's fun to see what they can come up with.
Yeah, and especially to note, one thing we forgot to mention is that Dokebi fix has occurred, if I remember correctly, and also it looks like we get a piece of the hatch there, and whiffing on the Dokebi is BLT. The Dokebi hatch, I do believe, did go through, so now it only rings for 14 whole seconds instead of ad infinitum. So you don't necessarily have to answer the phone call if you don't want to, which is rather important. And I can see that, or 12 seconds, I apologize. Yes, and the mute jammer change as well. But it looks like they're closing in on site. No one exactly knows, well, someone saw the Blitz, so it looks like, and then Alex out VLT as they're now doing a quick site, close in onto site.
From the lower stairs.
Yeah, from the
Pantry
lower stairs.
stairs.
And all stairs, it looks like, if someone is already planting an A over there. It seems like they managed to get into the site where the gramophone is, and they're smoking out in the connector in between as Young Sweat gets down by somebody, as we're having a total scrum and to figure out, to clean up these flat, to figure out who results. And the second one comes out in between the two sites, and it's a 5v4 with a whole lot of low health on the attacker side, and then Fatchko takes out Zoetic, and Zoetic manages to take out Tags, and Young Sweat takes out Lucky Not Good here as we're in a 2v4 as Fatchko gets down by Zerfon, and Zerfon takes out Fear Up and Fatchko in a very quick flurry of action.
And then I guess now NMSU will get to play the sites that they'd like to play, the upstairs sites, but it will be predictable. They know, ASU knows where they're going based on which rounds they won in the first and second. So maybe we'll see some better pre-planning from ASU here and knowing that they're going to go Statuary.
Yeah.
And
it also definitely feels like ASU has, at least recently we've seen, they've prescribed to the old Mocket playstyle before the entire squad moved to the stream, where it was the wait until the last 30 seconds and then execute aggressively, and that's what it seems like they're trying to do here. And it's been somewhat successful. Like that last round was beautifully done. Not necessarily beautifully done, that was a pure scrum, but it was a successful attempt at that method, I would say.
Which I think
on and off site. So whether or not that's a measure of success, that's up for you guys to decide, but that did work. And it looks like they're going to try to impact tricks as they are blowing open the top side of that little wall there into master bedroom.
It does seem like they are begging for another reinforcement as well.
Oh, that'd be the rotation into astronomy, so they just need someone with impacts. And I believe there's only one. So, because Rourke has impacts and Doc does not. So,
they have not been taking shotguns either for that utility.
Yep. So, and they don't have any C4 either, so it literally has to be that impact.
Oof. Which they were planning on tricking, so.
We'll see if they do decide to do it. It'll definitely be interesting. And let's see if Zerfon here will be able to be cognizant enough to be able to Zofia up through the holes that the NMSU made to try and prevent the Legion from impact tricking. Notably, we did see there a Twitch drone did get one of the Grismot mines.
We're seeing the aggressive master push.
Well, it would be from the other side, so we have an aggressive vault push.
Ball push. My bad.
Yeah, as we see Young Sweat just running in there, getting an eye on the Jaeger in Fatchko. And now the droning out here as Zoetic is now being droned in by the Blitz. And I don't think anyone exactly knows where Fear Up is because everyone is in front of Fear Up. So Fear Up managed to do a very reasonable flank from the back as Fear All is still outside the building. So let's see if Fear Up is cognizant enough for Fear All, and if Fear All will find Fear Up. But Fear Up is watching the other side of the door. And Fear Up get Fear All with a headshot. And Jackal utility being 0, so that means the roamers are now free with both Fatchko and Fear Up at low health, as Tags manages to take out Zerfon as well as trying to peek the hallway after 90. So it's currently a 3v2, a 5v3 with the 2 people at half about. And we'll see how ASU will try to recover. It seems like they're rotate as the Twitch is rotating, trying to do something else. I don't think... Oh, they know where he is. Oh, no.
Did he see him?
Young Sweat does not know where Fear Up is. But Fear Up knows where Young Sweat is.
Oh, my goodness.
Because he turned around at exactly the right time, because he ran forward and then turned around after the doorway. So
he moonwalked past him.
Yeah, so now we're in a really intriguing position where nobody knows where the L is. Well, they might have. Well, they might do now, especially after shooting the drone. So the Blitz is coming in to see if they can take out the Ella. We'll
45 seconds still.
And Fatchko takes out Zoetic, so it's now a 5v2. The Blitz and the Twitch being the last two one left on ASU side here. And the Blitz is now hiding in his little corner as the Twitch is downstairs outside, coming in the basement of all things. So let's see if the Twitch will be able to loop around and manage to get inside, which I highly doubt. But it looks like the Twitch is coming around quick and sharp to try and help the Blitz, who is kind of trapped in his little hidey hole corner, and no one's daring to peek anything right now. As Fear Up is slowly approaching because...
Does NMSU, you know, they have the diffuser down as well? I believe they do.
It's next to the Yeah, I think they know it's down because it's near.
And there they go.
Yeah. Tag takes out Young Sweat and Fastro takes out LCB, but the diffuser was down near where the Twitch was coming up.
Ah, I see. So she had the chance to grab it,
but there was just not enough time, and it just took way too long. I don't know why that Twitch ran outside. I saw the Twitch rotating, and I'm like, oh, you're just going to change windows and then go somewhere else. But I didn't realize that the Twitch rotated all the way around and stayed outside for a whole, 30, 40 seconds, which feels wrong. It probably would have been faster to go over the roof of that. So, as we're going back now to Aviator Games to see if they can clean up this really good half here. With, interestingly enough, even though at 3 wins, BLT still has 0 whole kills. I don't know if it's just holding down the fort because he's just been playing Doc all the time. Who knows? But we're still sitting at a 0-1-3 scoreline for BLT at this point, and they're going back to Gaming and Aviator. So, it looks like we're seeing a more standard defense, but this time with a Kaid. Because that seems probably fine, but it definitely loses a little bit of stock when the only thing that's there is a Thermite and there isn't a Habana. But notably, there is no way to really stop them from the Kaid, because even as a Twitch, it's still very hard to see the actual Kaid Rotilla charge, I believe that's called. Rotilla Claw? I think that's what it's called.
Do you think it's interesting that I think this is ASU's map? I don't know exactly the whole attacker-defender balance of this map, but ASU played this map, I think it was week 4 and 2? Or it might be... So it seems like potentially ASU hasn't been able to practice a map like Villa as much as they've been able to practice a map like Border, which they do like to play on a lot, and or other maps. So this could be a case where NMSU did really just get their bands right, or they're just having a hell of a day.
Yeah,
I'm going to lean towards maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, because it definitely feels like, based on what I saw today, that NMSU just seems to be on top of things. And since Villa is such a rarely used map, I could definitely see that ASU doesn't use it as much as other maps, because people have a habit of banning Villa out or just not selecting it in the select phase. It's one of the, even in our statistic little pie chart that was posted in the Discord a while ago that we're in. For the league, that was just some statistics. Villa was, I believe, the least chosen map. Either that or the second to least chosen map. It was very rarely chosen. So it definitely makes sense in terms of a mitigating standpoint to not regularly do Villa, as we had a gunfight in between Zoetic and and Fear Up. As Zoetic is now hit very, very low, as BLT gets his first kill and headshotting Zoetic coming from the back as he tries to pull out the pistol, and Zerfon takes out BLT as trying to go to the refrag. And a pile of refrags going to tags on Zerfon, Alex on tags, and Fear on Fear Up, as we're now suddenly in a 2v3 situation with Lucky Not Good and Fatchko being the last 2 on NMSU, with Young Sweat, Fearall, and Alex DB being the last 3 on ASU here. As we're in this crazy old thing, because hard breachers are gone, now we're in this crazy 40 seconds where you somehow have to get in there and plant. Smokes fortunately do work, but there are ADSs and there aren't really anything else except for frag grenades. And those Rotilla Claws are still there, making the barbed wire very shocking, as they have in the literal sense, at least in this case, which makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to get in there, because you do get injured trying to melee, or at least hurt, trying to melee the barbed wire. As they're now in 50 seconds left, we have to get this final push done, as we have someone watching one door, as Fatchko misses the shot as 2 people are closing in on him, as he manages to
makes the second shot.
He makes a second shot, as
then is refragged, and the plan is going down by Twitch.
And now Young Sweat is defending that door as the last man, Lucky Not Good, rotates in, and Lucky Not Good manages to take out Young Sweat. We're now in a 1v1 situation with Twitch and Lucky Not Good being the last 2. And then Twitch checking the door frame, because that's where he's going to be. And then the peeking strat's still somewhat working as he manages to miss. And he managed to tag Lucky Not Good as we're in this strong 1v1 fight. As an impact goes out and actually misses taking only a sliver of health off of AlexDB, and now about half the timer is left. He only has about maybe 15 seconds left to change.
Oh, but he did. Oh my goodness!
And he manages to flank him, outflank him, and impact through the wall to come in with that rotation they didn't make it particularly clear and get the last kill and defuse.
Lucky Not Good had a just beautiful half.
Notably, yeah. Not surprisingly, as I've mentioned before, almost all the maps currently in the Pro League circuit here, which are the ones that we are doing, are defender-sided. And as we see with the 4-1 split here, it's very obviously defender-sided. And a lot of that clutch can be attributed to Lucky Not Good, where all 4 of his kills coming in at clutch situations here. Notably, 2 kills in round 1 and then 2 kills in round 5. So he definitely seems to be the clutch kind of player as we're heading into the defensive round, going into Aviator Games, which is the one that NMSU just defended. So we end up with a Capitao, Twitch, Jackal. That's an interesting one. Finka, which is an irregular choice, and a Zofia on the attack, and on the defense we have Valkyrie, Doc, Legion, Echo, and Pulse. So it looks like they'll be the Pulse playing from downstairs, trying to attempt to C4 up from below. As we fall in here to a very regular defensive state, as Pulse is just doing some, and AlexDB is just doing some scouring for some drones before he heads downstairs. And this just seems like a regular defense, but the kicker is primarily that ASU just can't afford to lose anything, because as soon as one gets let go, that's immediately match point.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to see how the attackers with no hard breach will be able to take these sites.
I think that is the advantage of going defender first on the defender-sided site, is you get that mental confidence of, you know, being 4-1 up on a map that even though you maybe should be 4-1 up, you get to feel a little bit better inside, maybe not feel so desperate.
As Zerfon takes out BLT here,
Ooh.
And then Tag's getting a look at, knows someone's in that room because of the footsteps and hasn't left. Knows someone's in there and is going to tag him out to force him to move. And then
oh my goodness,
losing the gunfight. Young Sweat knows as an LCB takes out Fatchko. And this seems like a slaughter in favor of ASU. Well, a lot of ASU is actually fairly low, as Young Sweat is now using C4 to attempt to make the rotation, at least trying to deflect suspicion, because someone else is outside of that window. So Lucky Not Good then downing. Yep. Young going down to Lucky Not Good. And Lucky Not Good, of course, does not know that. Now wasting a flag. And then Fear Up manages to take out Poetic Energy. The Fear Up takes out 2, 3, and now it's suddenly a 2v2.
Yes.
Fear Up taking out 2, one with the frag, or I should say Lucky Not Good taking out 2. Now we're in a very clutch
master.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens.
And our healths are very equivalent. The only stitch in this plan being the Echo and 1 frag already used. So there's 1 frag grenade gone already. Importantly, to take out that Valkyrie that Lucky Not Good did not know was down. So we'll see how this thing's going out. Echo, the Feral, manages to miss the drone, at least on first pass. So Fear Up now knows where it is and gets gooed. So Fear Up will have to move back with a minute left. They definitely have a fair amount of time, so they have time to take out the goo, reset, and then clean the rest of this round up and see if they can make it 5-1 in favor of NMSU. Now the Echo drone is now moving into position as the impact rotation was not made in the exact perfect location, but getting over into aviation to get a good look at the default diffuse. And I do believe that Echo was taken out by the Twitch. And
Twitch
goes up and
early.
down, and then got back up, and then doesn't manage to get a sliver of health again. So let's see if that actually makes an impact, being at functional 0 health with hitting all the goos in the world. And I don't think that they necessarily know that Twitch is still up at a sliver of health. So we're at 20 seconds here, so there has to be a push really right quick. And Twitch and Fear Up trying to hit something. And it looks like they're just going to go in guns blazing. And it looks like Fear Up managed to take out Lucky Not Good. And now it's a 1v2 with 1 in vault and Fear Up at the sliver of health taken up by Fear All. So that was shockingly close.
think well played by ASU in a situation where things felt like they might have been slipping. They were able to just hold on.
Yeah, and
They're
that's an
down.
important note that we saw is that Valcam that just wouldn't die.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible. Valk should not have lived, and nonetheless gotten a frag onto, was it Jackal, I believe, who immediately tracked her, and then boom.
No, but there was the spot at the end where the Twitch was shooting. That was a Valcam.
Oh my goodness. Valk, the goat.
So the cam could not be shot for some particular reason. That was
So we see a statuary hold
Reinforcing the wall.
with Echo again. Which
Yeah, it
I
looks to
think
me
we
is-
would expect.
Yeah, it looks to be a standard statuary hold with the Pulse going to be setting up shop downstairs, probably. And it looks like since they don't have the... Yeah.
Loading mag.
New feed activated.
I
Cam in position.
do think that this will be a very definitive round in the match, just because if we see a successful hold from ASU here, it will really show, hey, defenders are going to be winning this, and or this is a lot more even of a match than it looked in the first half. And we'll see if ASU can hold their map.
Planting toxin.
If they've been practicing more on defense, we'll see if they have these things fleshed out. We do see a Finka again, which is a bold choice.
Yeah. And as it seems like Lucky Not Good here has managed to push into Kitchen. And they know that's the Legion and Zerfon, or Zoetic, or apologize, the Doc and Zoetic Energy is over there. And Lucky Not Good does manage to take out the Doc from the longer angle. And we have a DC. Let's see if that will end up garnering a rehost here or not. We'll see if they call for it or if he just comes immediately right back and fear up. So now the Dokebi is calling a meeting. And Alex DB getting a good look at the person who's right above him. Can't exactly tell who that is, but it looks like people are pushing out Alex right now with at least two people just trying to gun him down, and at least one of those being the Finka, just trying to push out. And then Zerfon takes out BLT here. And no call for a rehost as Zerfon manages to take out two BLT and Fatchko.
Impact.
And as the hatch gets opened up to see if they can get a good look, and then Lucky Not Good takes out Zerfon, and Fearal manages to take out Lucky Not Good.
There is the rehost after this round called.
And Tags is in sight, and I don't think anyone knows that he's there. And the whiff on the hip fire DMR means the end of the round for NMSU. So in this case, where do you think that this will end up now that, because we've had two successful defensive rounds in a row, do you think that this will end up in a 5-4?
I think it really just depends if they have practiced this third site hold as much as I think any team could have. You know, I think if they have an idea of how they want to play Kitchen and or these downstairs sites, and you know, if they can pull something out of a hat, we could have a really interesting into this game.
Yep. So as we move into the very traditional third site, which happens to be Kitchen Dining, I believe that is called, and we see that we're playing in the upstairs and the downstairs, or should I say bathroom, trying to do a 2-story hold with the castle and the Valkyrie likely playing upstairs, and then everyone else on the downstairs, because especially on this particular map, vertical play is a very, very real concern. Do you think that NMSU will be able to properly leverage vertical play?
I don't know. I am concerned that they didn't bring any hard breachers, and you know, maybe not being able to open up these hatches that ASU sealed up, unless they can just really aggressively push like the pantry. We might. I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, and as you may have noticed, that they have never brought a hard breacher. NMSU just has strictly not brought one, as far as I remember in the past few rounds. So that seems to be the line that they're taking, thinking fragging utility and other various utility instead of breaching a wall. So we'll see how this pans out. As Lucky Not Good is watching for the run out here, as Fear Up manages to have a drone onto first floor site. So in the castle's upstairs, the wall's being broken in, and castle shotgun. So that's an interesting development.
Yeah.
That's a let's see how that will end up panning out. As you say in dodgeball, it's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how that pays off. So as we see the Capital checking that washroom door, as Fachko quickly turning around as the Zerfon whiffs many of his shots, still coming out clean in that exchange, as Doc is very, very low from the exchange with the Zofia in Fear Up. So currently, and then Lucky Not Good takes out Feral, which is a very, very clean take, and then the ADS does manage to take out Zerfon. The BLT manages to take out Zerfon on the ADS on you, which is a highly regular thing, especially with the slower ADS times. Young Sweat manages to take out Fear Up, and now everyone's in a low situation as the shotgun and LACB manages to come in hot as Tags and BLT die, one to the shotgun, one to the knife. Now we're suddenly in a 1v3 situation where the shotgun is now suddenly making rotation holes onto Tags, who's at full health, but everyone else is inordinately very low. So now we're in a 2v2 situation with the Capitao at a 1v2 situation with the Capitao at 75% health, Castle at 50, and then Doc at 75 as well. So this is definitely winnable in that respect, because I believe that Doc has no stims left. And shotgun time. Let's see if this shotgun is as powerful as Smoke's shotgun, where normally this would blow someone away. So let's see if Alex manages to get the hit.
And there he goes. I feel like I'm eating my words. I said it was bold of him to take the shotgun. He knew what he was doing.
I feel like in this case, when you're playing on this part of the map, it actually presents itself where frequently in close enough quarters where it's actually at least fine.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the best option, but definitely serviceable, as you notice that they had a habit of not taking impacts.
Yeah, and he was able to play some hatches. He could open some stuff up, rotate back quick. It was all they had to do, especially after they, kind of got the man advantage. Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely, that goo mine in that doorway definitely helped assist in making that quick shotgun pull like a skeet a little bit easier. As now we're going back upstairs into Aviator Gaming. We're doing a relatively standard hold again, this time also with a Kaid. As we saw before, being the only, interestingly enough, from ASU on this map, that is the only anti-breach we've seen. Not that NMSU has traditionally brought any breachers. They finally brought one, but it's the first one that they've actually brought this entire attack cycle here on this half.
And no anti-hard breachers taken either. So if Kaid plays this right, it could really just deny a lot of their utility.
Yep, as they're coming in here, we're seeing relatively standard setup. Any creative places for Valcam. That Valcam being interestingly restricted in only viewing that very tiny area there, that in entering Aviator from the stair side. So we'll see how this pans out as Finka is now going up to the roof. Bringing in Finka again. Notably, the only change in the lineup this time will be a Habana from Fear Up coming in on the first floor and opening up the foyer door. Doc playing upstairs on the second floor near the other set of stairs that's on the foyer side, as ASU is now taking a slower, more methodical approach to getting this site open. Now, based on what you're seeing right now, how do you think this round is going to end up? Because we're taking a more plodding take through this site, or to this site.
I do think that NMSU is pretty nervous right now. They've lost all three defensive rounds, or all three of their attacking rounds. And I think they're trying to be like, hey, let's slow it down. Maybe try to catch this frag, which they just didn't.
And
lost.
Zerfon takes out BLT as attempting to get the frag off of the meeting that was called. So we're going to see whether or not we'll actually be able to get anyone as Fachko tries to take out Zerfon, who's currently sitting at 90, and finally lucky enough to takes out that cam. I'm going to see if someone ends up peeking that out. Now all of them, at least 4 of them anyway, are now moving into
study.
Well, moving into study. Zoetic Energy manages to take out Fiora from the hole in the wall that they made from the Habana breach from a
He's
late.
down to about like 3 health. Or no, about 10 health. The
Yeah, that's still
still
a
not good. 1 shot.
Zerfon manages to take out Lucky Not Good, and Fachko takes out Zoetic here. And now we are in a 2v4 situation as Tags manages to take out Alex. And then Fachko manages to take out Zerfon. We're now in a 2v2 situation with full health on one side and about 66% health net in between the two on the other. Oh, and someone stuck in Vault is now being frequently echoed. So we'll see if Tags will be able to make the frag against the person chilling behind that shield. I don't know where the last person is on the other side, but it seems like both people are now in sight, but I do not know where the Valkyrie is currently.
Both of those logic bombs used up.
And now Tags takes...
He's going for the revive, and he gets it.
Yeah, and he gets it, and no one exactly knows where they are, but Young Sweat knows that they're on the aviator door, and they're going to go plant. And I don't think they know exactly where Young Sweat is, but hopefully someone is watching the door where Young Sweat is pushing out, and he's going to get the diffuser down.
Planner in default spot.
Yeah, and nobody exactly knows where Young Sweat is. Young Sweat, they're sitting there with the deagle on the door with 8 seconds left.
Oh my goodness, Young Sweat. Beautifully played.
Yeah, Young Sweat clinches it out, importantly not reloading to give the sound cue to know that it is a good time to push. So now we're at round 10, favoring ASU match point 4-5. Now that we're back into statuary, do you think that a Thermite will be brought this time instead of a Habana, like Thermite Thatcher, and then just rolling that way because of the pervasive amount of electronic gadgets we've...
I mean, to me, if you're NMSU and you don't try to change it up this round, I think it's one of those situations where if you can't pull... Like, they haven't pulled off the frags on attack in the last 4 rounds, right? Like, if they don't try to do something a bit more utility based, especially on one of these upstairs sites, like, you can't expect any different result than what's happening in the board. You know, I think that if NMSU pulls this off, that's like a really, really strong showing of their character. But I think that the choice not to bring a Thatcher and or a Thermite, or, you know, just being able to hard breach and just take that easy, not even necessarily easy, but that statuary push, I think that that's a really big risk to not just try that, knowing which site that ASU is going to be playing.
I think it is important to know that the last few rounds are losses in one-on-one gunfights, right? They've gotten every other frag, and in the last couple rounds, everyone has died except for one.
Right.
Period. So I think they realize that their formula works. They're probably committing to themselves that they just have to win the last gunfight, because whatever they've been doing has been working up until that point, except to the last gunfight.
I think you can almost tie that into this, like, World War I general decision of, hey, we didn't win because we didn't have good enough morale, or something like that. You know what I mean? Instead of the tactics, like.
Also, quickly checking as we saw that Valcam spot from earlier this round is Valkyrie is now on the first floor, coming around into the reading room library area, and Valkyrie's low. I didn't even realize
I didn't see that happen either.
A significant amount. So even a reset, because resets don't exist anymore, wouldn't even do much. So Valkyrie is functionally out unless the Valkyrie manages to flank creatively. I was using the frag grenade to get that castle barricade open over on that side. And now with that side reinforced, the Monty will should be able to get at least a decent look onto site, as Lucky Not Good is definitely doing the flank watch because they know that Valkyrie's still around there, as Fear Up manages to take out the castle in Alex DB, and then Zoetic Energy takes out BLT, who was on the Monty, probably ADS, as I imagine. And Young Sweat manages to get down, and then Lucky Not Good takes out Zoetic, and now we're suddenly in a 4v3 situation with someone on basically no health, and then Zircon takes out Lucky Not Good with a headshot. And still that same situation where someone's down, so we're functionally in a 3v2.
Oh my goodness, what a shot.
And then Zircon takes out Tags as well, coming into statuary there. And then
Oh,
Fatchko manages to take out Zerfon, and Firo takes out Fear Up, and now we're in a 1v1 situation unknowingly with someone at 50% health and someone at full health. And let's see if the Echo can find the Zofia.
it's back down to that 1v1 we were talking about.
Yeah, and who wins it? And ASU wins the 1v1 again.
Gosh,
And
that was
is
just
now
such a
4.
fantastic match. I think a lot of the times with Siege, you don't necessarily see as much of these momentum-based games like you might see in an esport like CSGO, but man, ASU, that was very impressive. Just to come back from the 4v or 4-1 and win 6-4. That's
Yeah, and that's the thing to note is like all of the wins on defense were all very close. I believe for the 5 rounds in a row that they won, 4 of them were 1v1s at the end. So both of them were equally winnable on both sides. And it just came down to whether or not someone could just clean up the last bit. And NMSU just could not clean up the last bit. They just could not clean it up.
I do think NMSU is at a very good place right now where they have challenged this top team in the division, Penn State, and they came very close this match to taking it. I will say, a lot of those just the 1v1 gunfights comes down to that. And I don't know. I think these last 3 weeks, or last 2 weeks, I guess now after this, of these matches will be very interesting. Moving into, I guess, relegation and or the tournaments or the tournament, and
Yeah,
I'm really excited to see what happens. I think both these teams are really fun to watch, and I don't think I think watching them play either PSU or UOIT. These are going to be some really exciting matches.
Yeah, like the only thing that I saw with ASU is like, or at least comparatively both, at least on the first side, we saw that ASU was never particularly confident in their attacks, right? That was the problem that we saw. Like they did decent. It was a 3-2 split defender, and they were never particularly confident in their attacks. And that's exactly what we saw here. And on a more heavily defender-sided map, that's how we ended up with the 4-1 scoreline. But more importantly, the thing that we saw here today, which I think is something NMSU can work on, which if they manages to get it done by the time the playoffs come around and or whatever else they're doing later, will make them likely one of the best teams here, is the ability to finish rounds. As we saw here, a lot of these rounds were 1v1s that, at least on attack anyway, they just couldn't finish rounds. They got them down to the 1v1 situation that was very easily winnable if played correctly, and they just couldn't get there. But on the converse, on the defense, twice we saw 2v1s won by lucky not good. He won 2v1s on defense. So there's a point to me whether or not that was well positioning or luck, but it seems like at least on attack that the biggest thing they need to work on, at least for the coming weeks, is just finishing up those rounds, because they were able to get to the point where all you need to do is finish them off, and they just couldn't exactly get there. But I'm very much looking forward to what they do later in these few weeks, because they are looking extremely promising in terms of future results.
Yeah, I think upcoming, these next 2 weeks, really just anything can happen with any of these teams. NMSU and ASU both, being, I guess ASU is very close to UOIT. I'm not sure when that PSU UOIT game is going to happen for this week 7, but I think, with that round. So I guess, does that mean ASU moves up into second place after this match?
Okay, so I've been here the entire time. Dukarja just quickly saying UIT forfeited the PSU, meaning that the current standings of that, this puts ASU above UIT for the playoffs. Okay, I'll be out now.
Yes, I think that's really exciting. I think, PSU, obviously, they last week tied against NMSU. And I think when you have this competitive of a division, that's just really exciting. especially for viewers. It's fun for people who are playing, but also that is very stressful. But this is cool, man. Like,
Yeah,
having all these teams that are, any day a match could go one way or the other. And I think it's exciting to see a tie. I think
yeah,
it might not be too satisfying for either team. I think NMSU really was hoping to come with a win after their tie against PSU, but I don't know. It's very cool. I
yeah,
think this is.
yeah. And on that bombshell, we will be signing off tonight. And so in that case, hope you all have a good night. And I myself am Koyman.
And
And
I'm Korsakov.
thank you for watching.
Peace.